This is going to be on Saturn and the propensities of Saturn, both as well in palmistry as well as in birthdays, day of the month someone's born, sign the month that they're born, the sign of the month that they're born, etc. So the Saturn finger is very interesting. The fate line usually comes up around the Saturn finger, and it's often been called the Saturn line. And Saturn is a very introspective, private type of mount, and it has a lot of power in the hand. And I'll be going over a bunch of things as we go, but I'll describe things and we'll go over different propensities of Saturn, the day of the month, health indications, etc., and we'll see what comes up. Now, the Saturn finger is really the middle finger, and this is the finger of Saturn, and it's between the index finger, which is Jupiter, and the ring finger, which is Apollo, the sun. It really gives balance to the hand. If there were five fingers, which we all have, Saturn's the middle one. Now, the fate line usually comes up around Saturn, and you can, when a fate line is straight and unbroken, it's a great line. And when it begins under Saturn, it's kind of a normal position. So you have the lifeline, the headline going across in the Saturn line, which is called the fate line. Now, when somebody's hand is relaxed, if there's a space between Jupiter, which is the index finger, and the middle finger, which is Saturn, the person's said to have independence of circumstances. That means the person can get on under many conditions, and they're very adaptable and very flexible. As far as temperament goes, they can adjust to different things. If there's a ring around Saturn, it's called the ring of Saturn. It causes the person to be isolated or cloistered or feel lonely. So it really cuts off the planet Saturn on the hand, and it causes the person to sometimes be very despondent, melancholy, isolated, cloistered, any which way you want to put it. If you have a heart line, which people do, and there's a branch that goes towards Saturn, they're pulled towards people with Saturnian tendencies, which we'll go over. And that's a line that goes towards the Saturn finger from the heart line. Now we'll move this 1 second. So if the heart line itself comes right to the Saturn finger, that's called the Saturnian heart line. And they have more of a selfish love than a giving love, people with a Saturnian heart line. If it went in between Jupiter and Saturn, which is the index finger and the middle finger, it's more of an even thing. And if they go more towards Jupiter, the index finger, then they have a very idealistic type of love. So Saturn has a lot to do with isolation, particularly in the positive aspect of Saturn. And they usually don't like the limelight, and they like their own space. And they can tend to be studious, but they always wind up dealing with a lot of financial matters and things like that. Now, again, this is the middle finger, and the middle finger is generally larger than the other fingers. It's the largest finger generally on the hand. And this is a good example of a Saturn line, a line that goes right to Saturn. Now, positive Saturn is considered late December through January, or Capricorn. And they tend to get rheumatism, gout, feet and leg pain, kidney and teeth, ears, and they tend, like I said, to have melancholy. Now, negative Saturn, which means it's not a prominent mount, or it's indented, or it's soft, or whatever, and it doesn't show up, is usually February or Aquarius, which is like around January 19th through February. And Aquarius, I mentioned a few times. It has to do with the sun, the moon, and Saturn. It's just the way it works. And they tend to have a nervous disposition, stomach, digestive problems, perhaps circulation problems, and you have to watch accidents to the feet. So the planet Saturn also has to do with people born on the 8th, 17th, or 26th day of any one of the 12 months. And then again, like I said, we have positive Saturn, which is the end of December and January, negative Saturn, which is the end of February, the end of January through February. And again, this is the Saturn finger. So when somebody has a large mount under the middle finger, they tend to be called a Saturnian.